Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Tuesday morning. Glad you're here. Today we're talking about Shriners Hospital, and we're back down in Studio A, by the way, as we talk about this today. 436-ME-TV, option 11. You know, Shriners has been around helping children since the 1920s, my friends. We'll talk about it. You can call in. Hey, if you want to donate some money, although this is not a telethon today, okay? We're not holding a telethon here. This is like an informational show about Shriners, and we have two guests that drove in from Sacramento. Back after a word from our local sponsor in a moment from Sam Suits and Tuxedos out in Clovis.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
Back here with the program, Studio A. We're finally back down here and all set up with our new computer and system ready to go here on a Tuesday morning. Glad you're here. Connect with me on ME-TV Fresno. Hey, a quick programming note for tomorrow before we get started here with Shriners. And we're going to have Roger George in here. You know, he competed in the, I think he was an alternate on the 1976 U.S. Olympic team, side by side with Bruce Jenner, the once Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner. And so we'll talk about that friendship that he has with Bruce Jenner. He had years ago, and he still stays in contact now with Caitlyn Jenner to a certain extent. But we'll talk about him and his athletic prowess and career right here in the city of Fresno. Graduated from Fresno State. He was a track and field star. The event was the decathlon, and he was a star. I got to tell you, Roger George in tomorrow to talk about the fact that, you know, the Olympic Games have certainly changed since he was there, and he was actually in Munich in 1972 during the Jewish and Israeli massacre. And then on Thursday, we'll have that tabletop extension program. We'll have an update on that. On Friday, we'll talk about the American Health Care Act, on how they want to repeal and replace Obamacare, the Republicans do. But for now, you're watching us live on Comcast Channel 375 as usual. If you're not watching us on Comcast, you can catch us at 13.1 or 43.6 over-the-air broadcast with an antenna. Later in the day, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and 8 o'clock tonight on the replays. Talking about Shriners hospitals today, and many of them around the country, and as many of you know, my daughter suffered a severe and life-threatening injury and illness back in 2005. She nearly died. She contracted what was called HUS, hemolytic uremic syndrome. It affects your kidneys, it affects your brain, it affects the fact that, well, she had several strokes. It affected her motor skills and how she walks. 3.5 years ago, or nearly 3 years ago, she had surgery at the Shriners Hospital up in Sacramento. She had hip replacement surgery. She had foot surgery to try to improve her gait and her motor skills because her foot was turning in as a result of her injury. She's doing better today. She's nearly 14 years old. But Shriners helps so many children like my daughter. And by the way, all the times that we drove my daughter up to Shriners in Sacramento, we never once saw a bill from Shriners Hospital. They have helped thousands, if not millions, of kids across the country. It was established in 1870, but the hospitals were established in 1922. The first hospital opened in Shreveport, Louisiana. Today, they have 22 hospitals in North America. It's amazing what Shriners hospitals do with burn victims, with people that have problems like my daughter with her hip and with her foot. And I'll tell you, those commercials that we see on television on occasion, including here in the city of Fresno, often bring one to tears.
Imagine a kid who's told his disability will be a lifelong struggle. Now imagine a place where that same kid is told he can do anything. I don't have to imagine, because that kid is me. And that place is Shriners Hospitals for Children.
For over 90 years, Shriners Hospitals for Children has helped bring hope to children and their families, regardless of their ability to pay.
Because of Shriners Hospitals for Children, I can play basketball. I can paint.
I I can play hockey.
I could climb stairs.
I can write my name.
$19 a month from people like you. Let Shriners Hospitals for Children help kids like me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
You're not just giving a child the care they need. You're giving them
Hope.
Strength.
Joy. Independence. But we can't do it without you. Just 63 cents a day can change a kid's life forever, like it did for me.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
Your call says you care.
Your gift, no matter how small it is, can help a kid like me. Like me.
Like Andrea.
When you call today, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of the love you gave to a kid just like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for giving.
Because of you, we see lives changed every day.
Call or go online now.
If operators are busy, call again or go online to loveshriners.org today. Your call says you care.
All right, live in our studio right now is Tamiko Moon. She is the Director of Strategic Marketing at Shriners Hospital in Sacramento. She's been there for 3 years. She is here to talk about the marketing of Shriners Hospitals and what they mean, not only to Northern California. There is not a hospital here in the city of Fresno or the Central Valley. Perhaps that could change in the near future. Who knows, my friends? But Shriners, they're all over, 22 of them in North America. They have one in Sacramento. They have one in Los Angeles. They used to have one in San Francisco, but the Northern California version of that is now in Sacramento, located, I believe, on Folsom Boulevard there. I think that's the right street. But yeah, my daughter was up there, and you know, she was in the hospital for 4 months, and she needed surgery. That Children's Hospital here in Central California, she was there for 4 months at that hospital, but they couldn't do the surgery that was necessary 3.5 years ago, so they pretty much farmed it out to Shriners. Hey, if you want to call in, ask any questions, make a donation, and ask any question you want about Shriners, they've been doing good work since the 1920s. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Sam Suits and Tuxedos, our sponsor here on the program today. Back in Studio A, by the way.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here on the program, glad you're here. Shriners Hospital, call in 436-ME-TV, option 11. We even have a new phone system down here, and I'm anxious to see how it works. So call in. We have an open line right now. Tamiko Moon is here. Welcome to the program, and thanks for driving up 3 hours. I know you made a couple of pit stops coming up here. You had to get coffee, right?
Some version of caffeine.
Yeah, some version of caffeine. Hey, Shriners Hospital, they've been around since 1920. That is. They opened the first hospital, Shreveport, Louisiana. Now they have a hospital, obviously, in Sacramento. That's the Northern California version. There's one in L.A. We had our choice when it came to having surgery for our daughter. Do you want L.A.? Do you want Sacramento? Since I'm from Sacramento and I know Sacramento, yes. I chose Sacramento, obviously. It's my old stomping ground. So is there any difference between, say, the hospital in Sacramento, the hospital in Shreveport, the hospital wherever? Are the hospitals pretty much the same? Do they do the same? Do they offer the same services?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. folks have a Shriners Hospital in communities across the nation, and their orientation to a Shriners Hospital is as unique as their community and the kind of medical community around them. The Sacramento Hospital really is the flagship hospital in the 22 hospital Shrine system. Many Shriners hospitals have one specialty, either burns or orthopedics, plastic surgery. The Shriners Hospital in Sacramento, we have burns, we have orthopedics, we do spinal cord injury, we also have a plastics program, and we're the only hospital in the 22 hospital system to have a pediatric general surgery program, which we launched 2 years ago. So the Sacramento Hospital is the busiest, it's the most robust in terms of programming of all of the 22 hospitals.
So that new program that you talked about just now, did my daughter benefit from that?
Your daughter benefited from our orthopedics program.
Right.
The Los Angeles Hospital is an orthopedics outpatient hospital now. They're moving to a new location in Pasadena.
But Sacramento is inpatient.
Sacramento is inpatient. We have a robust outpatient program and inpatient programs as well for the complex surgeries that are done in our hospital.
Yeah, because she was there for, I don't know how long, but she was in there quite a while, at least a couple of weeks after the hip surgery. And but you offer so many services. Is orthopedic or burn number one?
In terms of, it kind of depends on the count, but I would say orthopedics is our largest program in terms of kind of unique patient touches. We have more orthopedic patients than any other specialty in the hospital.
Right. And you have a critical care unit, right?
Yes, we do.
What does that mean? Explain that.
So the critical care unit is it's pediatric critical care unit, which is unique in and of itself because every nurse in that PICU is trained specifically to the needs of children, which are not just little adults. Children have unique needs, and those kids need access to the most critical services that would be available in a hospital. So these are kids that need an intense level of monitoring, usually with a nursing ratio of 1-to-1 in our hospital, which is higher than what the state mandates of us. So we have nurses 1-to-1 with patients who have breathing needs. They might have just the sickest of the sick patients. These are often our burn patients, so our very traumatic burn cases. Kids that come to us from all across the western United States and the 4 western states in Mexico. They can be our orthopedic patients immediately after surgery, in particular our spine patients, so after a scoliosis surgery. And your daughter may have experienced that time in our PICU after her surgery with Dr. David's, I would guess, because it's just kids who require very intense and acute monitoring to recover, usually from surgery or from an acute burn.
Yeah, that was a heavy-duty surgery she had, of course, with the hip especially, and then they had to break the right foot, in I don't know how many different. I think Dr. David said it was like 6 different spots. You know how many little tiny bones there are in your foot and tendons and everything else. So it's amazing what they can do. But nothing is a guarantee either, and he told us that. The doctor told us there's no guarantee that this surgery is going to work. I think it improved her walking to a certain extent, but a lot of it is just, she's only 13, so she's growing, and perhaps, as she gets older, it'll get better. But with the patients that you have, how many of the patients, what's the ratio of burn and orthopedic?
Right. In terms of the patients in our hospital at this time, probably changing. If about 20% of patients are burn patients. Okay. And it doesn't make for 80% orthopedics. Where do they all come
from? Do they come from the immediate area, or are they flown in?
They're flown in. It really depends on, I think, the severity of the burn. So if you have a small kitchen burn,
skin grafts?
Absolutely.
Really?
So those kids are luckily we're in a position in the United States where burns aren't happening. Big burns aren't happening at the ratio that they used to. Right? People aren't heating their homes with oil. There are things that our hospital has done to make kids safer in terms of burn education. So the kids come from a wider catchment from all across the western United States and from northwestern Mexico. But small burns, most of those small burns are regional, so those are kids in our community with a cup of soup noodles or campfire. We're coming into the warmer season, campfire burns. And most of those come from Northern California and northwestern Nevada.
Yeah, it's really amazing work that Shriners does. But, 436-ME-TV, option 11 is the telephone number. I'm told I'm getting a call, but it's not coming in on the phone. So 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you want to call in on the program right now, we do have an open phone line. Tamiko Moon is here. Later on, we'll talk to Joseph Ramos. Tamiko is the Director of Strategic Marketing at Shriners Hospital up in Sacramento. Call in, have an open phone line. Today's program sponsored by Sam Suits and Tuxedos out of Clovis.
Revin is now on KVHF channel 4.4.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program, Tamiko Moon is here, Director of Strategic Marketing, and I'm told our phone system doesn't work yet. Okay, keep trying to call in. We'll try to get it fixed during the program, my friends. Amazing, huh? Okay. Anyway, 436-ME-TV, option 11. It should be working in about, 5-10 minutes? 5 minutes. Okay, give it 5 minutes. We're only 20 minutes into the show, so we're trying to fix it, I guess. Okay, Tamiko, let me ask you about the critical care unit again, because I want to run a piece of video. And how has Shriners, to a certain extent, how has it changed the lives of many of these children who come in, they have no hope. You see I've seen the commercial about them 1,001 times. I mean, these kids, they don't have an arm, they don't have a leg, in many cases. So how do you give these kids hope?
Right. I think that my experience with the kids in our hospital is so many of them come with hope, and it's our responsibility to help them realize the dreams that they have. They don't see the path forward. And we have tremendous experience with kids in similar conditions, and it really takes the entire hospital. It's the beauty of bringing your child to a family-focused environment where everyone is focused on the needs of those kids. And it takes a team of physicians and surgeons who are dedicated to children, nursing staff who have given their career to the care of children working in a subspecialty hospital. But there are also extended services available in the hospital, including living quarters for families in the hospital to help support their children around the clock while they're there with us. We have child life and therapeutic recreation staff whose job it is to create a child-centered environment in that hospital through games, through play. Our volunteer team has pet therapy that come in and music therapy that come in. And
I remember a big giant dog coming in.
A Pyrenees, maybe?
To my daughter's room. Yeah. I don't know. This dog was bigger than the bed.
Yes.
Okay, but she loved the dog, and so it's difficult sometimes, more difficult for the parents than it is for the kids.
That's right.
Wouldn't you say?
That's right. The children Sacramento Unified School District one-room schoolhouse on site there in the hospital on the second floor. All of these elements come together to help these children acclimate to the life that they're going to need to lead on their way out of the hospital and as they leave our hospital, to help them become contributing members of society again.
Yeah, I just remember when my daughter was about to go into surgery, everything was set to go. Doctor came in and said, "How you doing? How you feeling?" My daughter was as cool as a cucumber. You know, I was on pins and needles, more anxious and nervous, obviously, than she ever was. She didn't have any fear or nervousness on her part. But I know the parents go through a lot more sometimes than that. You know, the anguish and the unknown.
That's right.
And the possibilities that something could go wrong. All those fears go through the minds of parents. There's no question about that. Hey, I do want to roll a piece of videotape. It's called Critical Care 1. This is give you kind of a vision for what they do in critical care and how it can change the lives of just one child. Go ahead and roll it.
We were on vacation with our family, and my father and daughter were involved in a severe vehicle accident that left my daughter fighting for her life. I'm a fireman, and having to respond to my daughter moments after the accident, I didn't think she'd survive those moments. We were life-flighted to a hospital in Fresno, and we were at a level 1 trauma facility, and she needed a higher level of care. And that's when we were connected with Dr. Brian Haas from Shriners Hospitals for Children. And when I asked him, what do we do? Where do we go? His answer was very clear. He said, she's my patient. He ended up operating on our daughter Easter Sunday. He left his family to take care of mine.
People don't always realize, but we take care of the sickest of the sick. The ICU is not just a burn center, it's a critical care center that takes care of all our children. We don't isolate the services, we kind of blend them together so that we have a synergistic relationship between all the services, and the whole team works extremely well to get them through, and it's very rewarding to see how they end up.
The ICU at Shriners is critical for our mission, not only for the care of the critically ill burn patients and the spine patients and other major operations, but for our patients in particular. They require ICU care with one-to-one nursing as well as minute-by-minute monitoring.
All right, so we're back here with Tamiko Moon. So changing the life of one kid at a time, I guess, is kind of the motto of Shriners Hospital. And how do you work with other hospitals around the country? Patients who are, obviously in one hospital, like my daughter was in Children's Hospital. We were asked if we wanted to do the surgery there. Then we figured out that the critical care in terms of the trauma center and everything else. I think it was much better for us, a much better decision to go to Shriners because they specialize in these types of surgery where other hospitals don't. So what's your relationship with, say, other children's hospitals around the country?
Right. Those relationships are tremendously important to our ability to deliver on our mission of providing care to children. We're a subspecialty hospital, so we're only kids, and then within that, there are only certain conditions. And so our physicians are extremely specialized in the work that they do, and their peers know that. Over 95% of the referrals to our hospital come through other physicians, through clinicians, so physicians and other healthcare providers. And those are physicians both in, they might be primary care physicians, specialists, or other hospitals and patients that we're receiving through direct transfers. And those physicians, hospital physicians, know that there are kids who are better served by physicians in other communities for particular types of cases. And when we are that provider, we are always happy that they extend that opportunity for us to provide that care. For some of the things that our hospital treats, the numbers of those kids are just tiny, and physicians. I'll say that physicians may not want to. No one wants to be a cowboy with something that they're not experienced with.
Yeah.
It's hard to get a lot of experience with these conditions without relationships to providers out in the community who are going to continue to direct those kids. So for many of the things that we do, in particular the single event multi-layer surgery that your daughter had, the Simmel's surgery. Dr.
She had it all
David's-
done at the same time.
All done at the same time.
Can you
Single
believe
event.
that?
It's
Hip and foot at the same
amazing.
time?
It's amazing. It takes tremendous courage for families to make that decision. The recovery
Wow.
is difficult in the short term, but the long-term impact, the long-term outcomes are fantastic. But there
Yeah.
are very few surgeons in the nation who are doing those surgeries.
Yeah. Well, like Dr. David's told us, he can do the surgery. It'll be successful. She'll come out of it, but the rest is going to be up to the child.
That's right. That's right.
It'll depend on the child's attitude. It'll depend on the child's determination, how much strength that child has, how much encouragement that child has, and drive and determination play a key role in all of these surgeries, do they?
Absolutely, and support of the families. It really
Right.
depends on the age developmentally of the child. For your daughter's surgery, she had to be a little older for that surgery, but there are conditions that we treat where the responsibility is primarily on the parents. There are congenital conditions that are going to require surgery on an infant, and in that case, it's the drive and the determination of mom, dad, grandma, aunts and uncles to support that child through.
What about kids that don't have any support? They don't have any family. Do you get those kids?
We do get those kids. It is more rare or a little unusual, but part of the gift that the philanthropy that our endowment provides is our ability to provide care and services to all children. And we have had children who have been in our hospital as an inpatient for months on end without support of family, kids who are in the foster care system or maybe in between.
So how does the staff come in and try to encourage that 5 or 6-year-old child or 10-year-old that you're 10 years old, you're pretty much aware of what's going on.
That's right. So we have social workers on staff at the hospital, of course, a large and fantastic social work team who we're celebrating this month because it's National Social Worker Awareness Month, actually. So we're excited about our social work team. But in addition to our social workers, we have child psychologists available to our children, and we have our child life and recreational therapy team.
You have child psychologists available on campus.
It's critical.
Because you're worried about what's going to happen once they leave there?
Worried about what's going to happen once they leave, and sometimes it is helping kids manage the emotions and feelings of the trauma that has placed them in our hospital. Not all of our kids are in our hospital because of, congenital conditions or small injuries. Sometimes they're life-changing, a house fire. Knowing that they have come to our hospital and don't know where they're going to go when they leave. They don't look like they did before they arrived.
Right. All right. I'm told our phones are working now. You can try it. Yeah, we do have a phone call. All right. 436-ME-TV. Option 11 is the telephone number if you want to call in. So, look, we've been upstairs for like a week and a half or whatever it's been, and we're back down here for the first day, so we're just testing out this phone system here. 436, give it a try. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back with one more segment with Tamiko, and then we'll bring Joseph on, Joseph Ramos from Shriners Hospital as well. We'll get into the particulars about what they do and what they don't do, what services they don't provide too. And what about a hospital here in the Central Valley? Hey, Sam's Suits and Tuxedos are sponsored today here on the program.
The following is a list of celebrities you will not see on MeTV programs. Charlie Sheen, Lindsay Lohan, Snooki, Paris Hilton, Perez Hilton, Honey Boo Boo, Justin Bieber, Simon Cowell, Chris Brown, Miley Cyrus, and the Real Housewives of any place. This is who you will see on MeTV programs. Lucy, Ralph, Mary, Perry, Gilligan, Cannon, Spock, Batman, Rowdy, Festus, and the Beaver. MeTV. Thanks for watching.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
The Justice Network is here. If you haven't tuned in, you're missing a great lineup of gripping stories of real crime, plus an unprecedented effort by viewers like you to play an active role in making your community safer. You can help support law enforcement by providing information that may lead to the apprehension of dangerous criminals or find a missing child. Great shows and your chance to fight crime, only on the Justice Network.
Take a look at this. Let's play. This is too hip for you. I'll slow it down. Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KVBC Digital Channel 13.7.
After God created the world, He made man and woman. Then, to keep the whole thing from collapsing, He invented humor.
Sub, a perfect reason to rejoice. A distinctly positioned channel in the crowded Hindi general entertainment channel space. It is India's only family comedy entertainment channel with a core brand promise of असली मजा सबके साथ आता है.
देख रहा हूँ.
Which means celebrate the joy of being together. Taking humor as a universal language, the shows on Sub are light-hearted and make up for an enjoyable family viewing experience. Indeed.
असली मजा सबके साथ आता है.
अब तो सबको पता है यार.
Sub TV is now on Digital Channel 31.8.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back here in the program, 436 Me TV option 11. One more segment here with Tamiko. What don't you cover?
Oh, the list is endless.
Okay, you don't do heart surgery.
We don't do heart surgery. We don't do oncology, so we don't do cancer. We don't do kind of the routine cough and cold and flu. We don't do acne.
There's an incoming call. Okay, can we take this? Yeah. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. What's your question for Tamiko? Okay. All right. Thank you. So where does it come from?
So
the money, all the money. The question from the caller is, where does all the money come from? Because, like I said earlier, no bill has ever arrived at our house for my daughter's surgery.
That's right. So the funding for our kids, it really is the Shriners Endowment. It's gifts from the community. It's people like you. It's all of us funding the care through very generous gifts to the hospital and to the hospital system. That makes the bulk makes up the bulk of the budget for our hospital. It really is the kindness of the community, rooted in an initial gift of $1 million from Shriners, who had basically they had collected this money through their dues and fees and looked up and said, we have $1 million, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
In the midst of a polio epidemic in the 20s, and they invested that in care for kids, care for American kids, and that money has grown over the years. In 2008, the combination of gifts from Shriners and philanthropy from the community had grown to over $8 billion.
Wow.
And overnight, it was half of that.
So all the money comes from donations.
So much of it comes from donations. We did make a decision. Our joint hospital boards, national board, had to have some very courageous conversations after 2008 about funding and where we would go. And we made a decision to start billing insurance. And that is where children have insurance who will pay for the care that's provided, we will bill their insurance. But that insurance, or the lack of, doesn't provide a barrier to access to care for kids.
Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shake your hand and say thank you for driving in from Sacramento. But I want to bring Joseph Ramos in here because he's a Tulare guy. He's from the Central Valley.
Guy.
And his family wants to see him on television. And I'm sorry that our phone system just doesn't work today. I don't know what's wrong. We tried to fix it during the show. I don't know. We didn't check it yesterday. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I guess you can't call in today. I've been touting the phone number. So, you can call in tomorrow if we get it fixed. But Tamiko, thank you so much.
You're
it was
welcome.
a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you so
and thank you
much.
for all you do for Shriners. I appreciate it very much. And drive safe back to Sacramento.
Thank you. My work at Shriners is a gift. It's a gift to me to be able to do the
Right.
work that I do for these kids.
Well, it's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Stand by. More to come here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Back in just a moment after this from Sam Suits and Tuxedos.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
There's nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a third suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program, my apologies, my friends. The phone system just doesn't work, so you can't call in today, but you can sit and enjoy the program and watch. And bring in our second guest, Joseph Ramos, Special Events Coordinator at Shriners Hospital in Sacramento. Good to see you, Joseph.
Good to see you again, yes.
And I should tell the public I met you at a golf tournament last year in Sacramento, the charity golf tournament out there, and I asked you, hey, do you want to come on and be a guest on the show? And today we're having phone problems. We can't even have people call in. I'm so sorry about that.
That
I apologize.
is okay.
And I know you're a Tulare guy.
Yes.
From the Central Valley. Your family is probably watching, and they can't call in.
They can't call in, but that's okay. They're probably shy anyway.
They have your cell phone number, so that's probably
Yes.
good enough at this point. Hey, so Shriners, why no hospital in the Central Valley? Because you offer services that are so much different than Children's Hospital here in Fresno or in Madera.
Right. Well, it's a really good question. And I think a big part of that is when the system itself moved from San Francisco to the Sacramento area, we were looking at a great location in terms of education. And we have a wonderful partnership with UC Davis Medical Center. And so with our hospital being there, we were able to really become that flagship hospital that Tamiko was talking about earlier. We have access to even more brilliant minds than we've had in the past, and we're able to, kind of centralize everything. We have a great airport there. It's a great city, good location, and we still work very closely with other parts of the state, such as, the Fresno area.
And so you think that if is the thought process pretty much like it was with my family, that if you go to a children's hospital in Madera, and they can't provide a certain type of service, they can farm it out to a Shriners in LA or Sacramento.
Correct. Children's hospitals are a wonderful thing, and hospitals in general they do know to work together.
Okay.
They know what we can do, we know what they can do. It's definitely not a competition. We're all there to make sure that our children are taken really good care of, and that's what we do.
It wasn't a competition
Never.
thing that Shriners didn't come here.
Correct.
Okay.
It's just a great opportunity.
Yes. Great, because you guys do work together. I know because
Absolutely.
The doctors here conferred with the doctors at Shriners on my daughter's case. They did by phone, X-rays, all that stuff. So they did cooperate quite nicely, and that's why it came out so well. So you brought along some props. Why don't you pull that one up first? The 49ers one, the big one. Yeah,
I apologize to the Raider fans out there.
All right, you're a 49er fan, are you?
I am not, but I figured this would get more traction.
All right, pull that up. Let's see, take his shot. Go ahead and take Joseph's shot
Right
there.
here?
Pull that, yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right there. And what is that?
So this is a prosthetic leg. So this is what some of our patients would wear if they, for whatever reason,
What's that
lost
made of?
it.
Steel or
So
titanium?
it's
or what?
titanium. You're going to ask me questions I don't know all the answers to, but it's primarily titanium. I know there's some carbon fiber in there as well.
And how does that work? If you can, I don't know if you can answer that. I know you're not a doctor, but you mainly work special events.
Yes.
But do you know generally how it works?
Well, I know that it always starts with a casting system, and so this is obviously the finished product. Some of our patients will come in for, if it's an amputation, they'll do that first. In some cases, limbs are lost because of a traumatic accident. And so, once the wound is cleaned, the patient will undergo a series of different types of cast molding. They'll have there's a midway step that's clear plastic. They make sure that everything fits. It's kind of like a socket. They use a very special technology so where it kind of just holds in place. And then whatever the patient wants to do, and this is one of the best parts about our hospital, is that if they want to run, if they want to ride bikes, if it's a prosthetic arm, if they want to play an instrument or ride a bike, they can do that.
Yeah. It's amazing because you can make these prosthetic legs for children as young as what?
As young as they can be, really. I mean,
when they first start walking?
Absolutely. Definitely. We treat patients from 0 to age 18, and sometimes, a little bit older if they start with us at a younger age, and we will fit them. And in many cases, if a patient comes in at a young age, chances are they're going to have multiple prosthetics as they progress through their treatment.
All right, you have another bag down. Let me reach down and get this one. I'll hold this one up here on my camera here because you brought another one.
Yes.
This is a different type of prosthetic here. A little bit different. Let me move that bag out of the way so you can see that. So how? Explain the difference, say, between this one. This one doesn't have the titanium bar. So what does this one do?
Well, I'm glad you brought this one out. This one is kind of the halfway mark. As this is the finished product, what our prosthetists and orthotists have to do is make sure that everything fits comfortably.
This looks like a tall champagne glass.
It
almost,
kind of
doesn't
does.
it? Really?
A little bit.
Yeah. So what's the purpose of this one?
So,
to keep the leg more stiff, or what?
Stability is important, but then the major purpose is this is what's before the final product that comes before us. This will typically get marked up with lots of marker to make sure that it's not tightening on a specific part of the body. It's not chafing or rubbing up. They make sure that it fits perfectly, just like a glove.
Yeah, and this is made of just plastic.
It's just plastic.
It's just plastic, and that's titanium. So, do you first start out with this one right here, the plastic one, and then you graduate to the one that has titanium?
Then once we know it's going to fit perfectly, they graduate to this guy right here.
Yeah, and the purpose of the titanium prosthetic is obviously a little bit different.
Right. The ultimate goal for our patients too is we want them to run, we want them to walk, to swim. We also want them to fall and to get back up. And so while we try to build these as indestructible as possible, we always are up for the challenge, and our patients are up for the challenge to prove us wrong that things can break. but that also means they're out being kids, and that's what we want.
Pass that one along to me
Got
there
it.
real quick, and I want to see how heavy this is.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Not that bad at all. And so I'm gonna hold this one up.
Okay.
And obviously I know what this is. This is like a leg and an ankle brace for a very small child.
Correct.
And because my daughter, she still wears a brace. She's 13. She's been wearing one since the age of 2, since she had her HUS, hemolytic uremic syndrome. I don't know if you're familiar with that type of disease, but it did affect her motor skills quite severely. And so she's been wearing one of these forever, it seems like. And so do you start out with one of these and then maybe go to something like this, or not? Or the prosthetic is just for someone who's had something amputated, right?
That's correct, John. Right. So this is a prosthetic device. This is what we would call an orthotic device.
Okay. So the difference is you have a real leg that goes into this. This is an artificial leg for someone who's had amputation. What's the purpose of this?
I think in the easiest ways to describe it, stability, making sure that a child can be efficient, that they can
With
move.
their gait?
Exactly.
Yeah, with their gait and their obviously their motor skills.
Right. This allows them to kind of still function on their own. It's just a little, as you can see, it's a little guy. It'll fit right under their foot. They can still wear shoes and socks. It's covered by pants if they don't want to necessarily show it. It becomes a part of them, as both pieces do, but it definitely allows for a little bit more independence.
Hey, do you mind if I run another piece of videotape? It's called Critical Care number 2. Let's run the second one. It's called Critical Care number 2, showing the effects of what some of these surgeries have on not only the patients, but their families.
One of my favorite patients here at Shriners is a 4-year-old girl who came to us via Detroit. She was born with Hirschsprung's disease and had a very difficult operation and difficult hospital course. After about 1.5 years of therapy in our bowel management program, she's become this totally joyous, active little girl who's able to eat normally and run around and cause trouble like 4-year-olds are supposed to.
Any team always starts with the child and the parents, because we have to work with the parents to take care of the child, and we have a wonderful synergy between the members of the team. And the fact that we have a fully operational intensive care unit with very skilled staff and the availability of intensivists means that we can take care of kids with spine problems that are very severe. We can do that in an atmosphere where the kids receive the level of care that they need for those problems.
Shriners Hospitals for Children, Northern California, helped our daughter achieve a new normal. Our daughter's learned how to run again, and our family has learned how to overcome. There are children everywhere, it's not hard to find, that need help, that need hope, that need opportunity. Opportunity to turn a tragedy into a triumph. And that's what Shriners Hospitals for Children in Northern California does.
Back here with Joseph Ramos, and I'm going to ask you something. I got all the
Okay.
prosthetics right here in front of me. My notes are underneath. So do we want to give out that number right there?
We can. I think it's a great number to give out for support.
Or this one here.
They are
or
the
this one.
same number, John. Oh,
No,
wait,
they
no.
aren't. No,
You're
they
right.
aren't.
Let's do
They're
the
much different.
The first one.
This one here?
Yeah.
This one here on the bottom of the sheet?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to donate, and this is not a telethon, but if you want to donate, it's 1-855-661-5683. So it's 855-661-5683, and you do take donations over the phone with a credit card.
We do.
You do take donations via debit card, I'm assuming, checks.
Yes.
Don't send cash in the mail.
We recommend not, but if we get
Yeah.
it, we understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want you to be safe.
I should have asked Tamiko this, because she is the director of marketing, but how do you solicit people for money? Because, you know what? Let me tell you something. And let me ask you a follow-up question to what I'm thinking already. How do you solicit people? How do you convince people? Do you show them a video of a kid who was in critical care and now they're a normal kid, or maybe somebody who died Say, look, not everybody makes it. We need to try to save every child. You're gripping at their heart, their emotions. Is that part of it?
It's definitely a part of it. And what we find with donors is that every donor is going to have something different that appeals to them. And in some cases, it may be loss, it may be a traumatic accident, but ultimately our job as ambassadors to our organization is to, let people know what we do first and foremost. These are the children that we're impacting. This is how your donation can save a life and will treat many more patients so that, they will continue to have productive lives.
Just so the audience knows out there, so a lot of people, they're thinking, gee, I get solicited all the time to make donations here, there, and everywhere, and I don't trust who I'm giving to or who I'm going to give to, what the organization is going to do with the money. But Shriners takes the money and does what with it?
And we treat children. Ultimately,
that money goes to treating the children. Primarily.
We're very proud of how much of the average dollar goes right back to patient care. It's not necessarily paying for my paper clips and my pens. It's paying for patient care, and that is the ultimate goal. And I think donors would be really pleased to know that we take their donation very seriously.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I can attest to this because I lived it. Before my daughter became ill, you don't know what it's like to have a sick child. You don't know what care is going to be given. You don't know what care is being offered or what's out there, what's available. And you're scared as a parent for your child. So until you get into that situation, so when you do see a child that is sick, maybe that is the best route to go, is to donate to those organizations that do help children. Not only Shriners, but there are others. There's the other hospital. I can't think of the name of it now. Down, Danny Thomas, Marlo Thomas runs it. I can't think of the name of it. Help me out. St. Jude's Hospital. Again, you're not in competition, but there's another hospital that works on donations. So as a parent, you don't know until you have a sick child.
True.
Am I right?
Correct. And not everyone are parents, but they still want to give back. And so there are definitely opportunities to feel good. And I think donating to any cause is a good idea.
Right, right. As long as you know where that money is going.
Definitely. I think it's important to educate oneself on how are your dollars being used. Ask those questions. Come out to the hospital and let me show you around. Let me tell you exactly what we are doing. And you've seen it firsthand, and there are so many others who may not have. Come on down.
Yeah. See, that's the toughest thing, is to go in there and see all those kids that are in such dire need of everything. And one thing that struck me that you said, you encourage the kids to fall down and get back up because you want to teach them what?
Well, we'll teach them that that's life. You have to remember, not all of our patients, for lack of a better term, get well. If we treat burn survivors, those scars are going to remain with them for their lifetime.
Yeah.
And so we know that kids can be cruel to other kids, but life can be cruel too. And so the idea of falling and getting back up is exactly that. You get back up, you focus on what's ahead, you take care of your life, and you leave a really good one.
How do you teach the kids to ignore comments at school? I know I went through that because when my daughter was in elementary school, there were kids staring at her because she was walking funny and slow with a crooked leg. Kids can be cruel. You have psychologists there. How do you teach these kids to deal with some of the snide comments?
We have a really incredible transitions program that's a part of our schoolroom system. If patients are going to be staying at the hospital for a specific amount of time, they are enrolled in an academic program. And part of that is reintegrating back into a classroom, learning how to hold a pencil, understanding what it means to stand up in front of the class and make a presentation. And we also have staff that will go out into schools and educate classrooms, teachers, and administration to let them know what life may look like with a child reentering the classroom.
Right. I have 5 minutes here, but I want to ask you, if somebody were to come in and not know anything about Shriners, and they sat you down at the dinner table and said, Joseph, what's the overall goal of Shriners? Why was it formed in the first place? Why does it still exist today after so many decades of giving and serving children since 1922 in North America? What's the overall purpose?
Well, I think in my own words, we help change lives. We give kids the opportunity to be kids, and that's plain and simple. They come into our programs, they're treated, and they get to go back to being kids. They allow the family to focus specifically and wholly on the family. They don't have to worry about insurance, what's approved, what's not approved. This is an organization of hope, and that's what we give back.
What kind of a person do you have to be, and where do you get your doctors and nurses from? Where do you pick and choose? Does it have to be a special type of personality to be able to work in that environment?
Well, I would definitely like to say that we hire the best, and I think it's very important for our organization to tout the world-class surgeons that we have on staff, and not just surgeons, but our incredible nurses, like Tamiko mentioned. We have therapeutic rec and child life specialists. We have wonderful social workers, prosthetists, orthotists that are making these great devices.
Right.
It's a very, very hands-on environment from everyone, from top to bottom. You just need to be a good person. You need to be world-class, and you need to be able to really want to change lives.
You have to have the stomach for it too, because it's not easy. At least for me, it wasn't. And I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV. It wasn't easy for me to be in either hospital, either here in Madera or Sacramento. It's just difficult to see those kids in that hospital because you say, why them? They're only kids.
Right, and it can be tough, and I think the idea of going to work every day and knowing what's happening in your walls can be tough, but I can tell you from the 7th floor where I sit, I hear children's laughter every single day. And there's no better reminder of why we do the work that we do.
Then maybe, huh?
Definitely, of course it is. And so that's what we see. We know what else is happening, but we ultimately know the main goal, and we want those kids to laugh. And as long as they're laughing, we're doing our job.
Yeah. Hey, any charity events coming up that you can tout here? We got 2 minutes. Any golf tournament or fundraisers, real quick?
It's our 20th year, so we have a lot of different things going on. This upcoming Saturday, we do have our evening of inspiration and celebration. We're flying in Grammy-nominated Andre Day to perform for. It's at the Elks Tower in Sacramento. You can go to shrinercelebration.org for more information, and you can give us a call. We'd love to have you join us.
How about that all-important golf tournament?
There is a golf tournament on May 15th. It's the Nilo Audi Quattro Cup. You can get all of this at shrinerschildren's.org, by the way. But we have a riders event that will coincide with the Amgen Tour that's happening, a few other activities. We have another golf tournament in October. They're always being added to the list, and we always welcome folks that want to do good for us.
Quickly, I got 1 minute left. The Shriners football game. Remember the Shriners football game? East-West game is still going on?
It's taking place in Florida right now, so it just happened, I think, a month or so ago.
A month or so ago. So that used to take place at Stanford Stadium a long time ago. Almost before I was born, but I remember the East-West Shrine game. But again, the number is 1-855-661-5683. I'm glad you came in. We're out of time, but hey, say hi to the family down there in Tulare.
Hi, family.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Tulare Western High School.
Oh, good football team over there?
We were really amazing when I was there, and I think they're still pretty darn good these days.
All right. So I don't have time to ask you how you ended up in Sacramento, but that's okay.
We'll just have to come back.
You'll come back.
Okay.
I hope you and Tamiko enjoyed being here.
It's been a blast. Thank you so much.
All right. So again, the number is, if you want to donate money, is 1-855-661-5683. Our thanks to Tamiko Moon and Joseph Ramos for driving in from Sacramento. I promise, from the bottom of my heart, we'll try to get this phone fixed for tomorrow's program, all-important program with Roger George. See you tomorrow here on Connect with Me. Have a good day.
Nothing better than showing up to your next big event in a new suit or tuxedo. Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop on Clovis Avenue, just south of Old Town Clovis, has provided a wide selection of custom-tailored fine suits and accessories for over 25 years. Right now, get 2 suits, 2 shirts, 2 ties, and a pair of shoes for only $199. Act now and get a 3rd suit for only $50 more. Stop by or call 559-298-6063 to schedule your fitting today at Sam's Men's Suits and Tuxedo Shop.
If you have a need to promote your business or event, please consider MeTV Fresno for your next campaign. MeTV reaches over 100,000 of your potential customers in the Fresno area every single week. Plus, you can rest assured that your commercial is running in the greatest family-friendly programs of all time. MeTV Fresno delivers a strong, loyal audience ready to buy, and your campaign will cost a fraction of what you're paying for your advertising now. Call me today to find out how affordable MeTV is at 905-1925.
And away we go.
Here's the place that makes you smile. Stick around and stay a while. We're the home of great TV.